Fingers crossed we're live. Who knows? In this world, what is certain? Nothing is certain. What am I doing? Hello, one and all. Welcome to the semi-final 2 preview and prediction from me, Powerlight. Hello. Welcome, one and all and none, everyone and somebody. Hopefully, somebody sees this at some point. Who knows? But anyways, welcome along to my semi-final 2 prediction. I've already predicted and looked at semi-final 1. And now it is, and I gave a history of Eurovision, and now we're looking at the semi-final 2, which is tonight at, if you're in the UK, it's tonight at 8 p.m. on BBC 3. Hence why I'm making it now, just as close as I can to the time without potentially overgoing it. And yeah, super exciting, semi-final 2. If you haven't seen semi-final 1, I'd recommend it, but before you do that, I would watch this semi-final. So yeah. Awesome stuff. Okay, we're going to get into a prediction and a preview of the second semi-final. And the best way to do that, and it's the way I've done it before, is we use our tier list. Woo! Yeah, it's a bit different to the one I used before. The flags are now flag sized and squared and shaped instead of circles, which means a little bit disproportionate, but you know what? It's fine. It's the best one I could find. So yeah, instead of doing an S, A, B, C, D, we are doing a different way of doing it. Basically, we have defo qualifying. This means I have zero doubt that this will go through. A safe pick, which essentially if you put your money on it, it's probably going to go through, and you get your money back. Depends on the night. Really just does depend on the night. If everyone and themselves do well or do not so well, where will this fall? Would be a surprise is basically I don't see this one going through, but it's either a good surprise or a bad surprise. And instead of it being this one, really, I thought I'd change it up and go, I mean, I was thinking of like the SpongeBob meme, you know, where the narrator is like bored of saying it, so he just goes, or you can do a Minecraft zombie meme, whatever. Anyway, so we have which is basically like, yeah, not necessarily terrible, just bad. I think I should disclaim as well, because I did this in the first semi-final. I should disclaim that this is my opinion. So if you feel it's wrong, it's not wrong. It is actually my opinion. You might feel that some of the facts I say about them might be wrong, and if so, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But please, let's be civil. Everyone has their own taste, and I will confirm to you that I think that every single song this year is objectively good. All right, bar one. And we're going to talk about that bar one in this semi-final. It's not necessarily a bad song, and I can see why people like it, but I personally think it's bad, and many people think it's great. So, you know, I think everyone's done a fantastic job this year. I should also explain that explain that I have only seen rehearsals, clips and footage, and of course I've heard the songs for quite a while. I've heard them since they've come out. So I know quite a bit about them, but I don't know what's going to happen on the night. For all I know, on the night they could be absolutely fantastic. The staging could be completely different and blow me out, you know, blow us out the water. But for the time being, I'm just going off what I know. So yeah, we'll eventually get to my top 10 of qualifying. And then afterwards, I'll show you a review, which I'll give you my final top 10 that I got from the night. But I think that's enough talking. I think we should just get it underway. I think that, you know, people are on a tight schedule, and yeah, let's just get on with it. So we open up with Finland. Finland this year. Is it going to give me the? No, it's not. I'm going to have to. I don't know, I'm just going to hold it in my mouth. It's great. So, Finland. Finland this year is the Rasmus. They are doing a song called Jezebel, and the Rasmus are probably, I would say, are the most famous... I would say the Rasmus are the most famous band that are in this, as in everyone knows who the Rasmus is. You might not know who they are, but they did a song called In the Shadows, which was massive in the UK. And they're just generally a rock band. I think that's kind of a one-hit wonder for them, but still, yeah, they're performing here at Eurovision. Yeah, the Rasmus, the song is called Jezebel, which is about the biblical character Jezebel, which was, she was a very evil lady, but basically someone who gets under your skin because it's in a more loving way of like, oh, you really want to be with them because they they make life better. So it's an interesting sort of story. I will also say, when I did semi-final one, I rehearsed it once by accident. I was trying to film it and I couldn't, and then I did a live stream. So I kind of know where I was putting them. This time I don't have a clue, so I might switch them around as I go along. But fill-in for me, from what I've seen, depends on the night. Now, the song itself is top 20, top 15 for me. I really enjoy the song. I think it's a massive rock thing that is just fantastic. Unlike Denmark from the last semi-final, these guys like actually really rock in their own sort of unique way. Unfortunately, I've heard... Oh, I should also say the staging is also really interesting. It looks like, well, I think, what did they say? It was like a birthday party from hell, which I don't agree with. It's just a lot of black balloons, so maybe a goth's birthday party. But still, yeah, it's a very interesting stage with lots of balls everywhere, and it's just very in your face. Really cool. I don't know if it's colourful enough. It seems quite dark, which is again what's knocking it down. And his singing is not exactly great. I've heard the jury performance from them, and it wasn't exactly super exciting. So it really does depend on that. I think if he smashes it and the stage and readers come together and there's a lot of beautiful colour, the music video was all yellow, and I hope that the yellow just comes through on the staging, because I think it'd be really iconic. But yeah, it really does depend on night for me. But it's a personal favourite, but from what I've heard, it's just not solid enough to be a safe pick. Okay, next up is Israel, and Israel is represented by Michael Ben David, who is obviously Israeli, but won the Israeli X Factor, I believe. I'm pretty sure, I think. I mean, that's how I saw it. The song is called I Am, but I think it's said more like I am, as in this is who I am. Or you know I am is how he says it. And it's basically just a self-confidence song. A lot of people... I see this sort of song being used a lot for like drag and for just generally empowerment songs. It's a very like... you know who I am, sort of, I'm really strong and powerful and look at me. And I think he definitely does sell that. The song itself is okay. It's a bit of a bop, you know, I wouldn't mind it. Again, I'm saying all these songs are pretty good. He sings it really, really well. And the staging, the dancing looks really good. I would... now, I would put this on a would-be surprise. So the bookies have had this quite low for quite a while. I don't really know why. I think it might be a lack of stage presence, which is a bit of a poor take, because honestly, he's not that bad. I think the song is just not as good as the rest of some of these. So I will say, actually, as a bit of an overview as well, this semi-final was extremely tight. Like semi-final 1 was quite clear-cut. This one is really hard to predict. I'm just going to crop this a bit, just so... where are we? Over here. Just so it looks a bit neater. Oh, not that much though. There we go. Yeah, just so it just doesn't it's not hitting with the bookies, and it's just struggling a little bit. I mean, it would be a surprise, and I think slightly pleasant surprise, because I don't think it's that bad. I just think there's a lot of these that are coming up that are really hard. It's hard to put something that's come up earlier. Oh, also second in the running order. But yeah, it's hard to put something that's like early on in like the bad section, because well, we've only just started. But anyway, look, we've put in with Be Surprised, and it might change later on. Okay, now Serbia. Oh, I've right-clicked somewhere. Where's it gone? There it is. All right, Serbia is represented by Constractor. Constractor? It's weird. I never really get their names this year. I know the acts. I just don't know who they are. Anyway, I know who she is, Constractor, and the song is called Encopre Sano. Now, this is a piece of art, I would say. People are saying Serbian art. I don't know really what that means, or art music, but it's definitely an artful piece. And it represents, well, a lot of things, more to do with just health in general. Some countries still don't have, free healthcare / like national healthcare, and it's all for private institutions. Some people are being belittled and pushed into being healthy, when really it's at a detrimental effect to their their mental health, especially those who are celebrities who need to put on a show of like being super healthy and super good looking. And I think it does speak to a lot of people. Does speak to me as well, quite a few people as well. It's weird, very weird. I think it's probably the weirdest this year. I think at face value, it's just very striking. But overall, from what I've seen, from what I know, from what people have been saying, defo qualifying. And I think this is just like another classic Eurovision. I won't spoil too much about it, but I guess if you're here, you already know what Serbia's about. She washes her hands for the entire video, for the entire stage. But there's a lot of striking imagery. There's a lot of like medical signs and this idea of like cultish praying around this like water bowl, which I think is the meaning of like, you know, this water will give me life and health, when really is mental health the most important thing. I mean, she sings fantastic. I mean, I haven't even mentioned anything else. The song itself is really cool. I listen to it all the time. Her singing is fantastic. It's got a nice vibe to it that I personally enjoy. Might not be to some more poppy like pop enjoyers, but yeah, I think it's really, really solid. And the qualifier, the bookies have it as like in the top 10 to potentially win the entire thing. So I think it's a definite qualifier. If not, it's a safe pick. It's like in between these two. But as far as I'm concerned, definitely qualifying. Right, next up is Azerbaijan. This was the last song to be announced. It's by Nadir Rustamali, or Rustamli. I should also say that I'm going to butcher all of your names, and I apologize. I am English and really poor at pronouncing stuff. And the song itself is called Fade to Black. On first listen, I did not enjoy it at all. I think I was kind of... and you'll hear from the semi-final especially, there was a lot of boy ballads, or men ballads, should I say, of like men who are just crying and being super emotional, and like, yeah, we're going to point at some of these later on, but we had another one. I'm like, oh gosh, there's another one. And then you know, obviously I disregarded it. Then I listened to it again and again, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's got something a bit different. It's more of a cinematic sort of thing. I would say more orchestral. Like, it's a balanced build. It's a build up that's super balanced, whereas some of the other ones have been very like in your face straight off the bat. Anyway, Azerbaijan, he's a great singer. From what I've seen from the staging, very artsy. It definitely reminds me of 2013 Azerbaijan, where I think they came third or fourth, with like this shadow idea or this doppelganger idea. And I think it really works from what I've seen so far. I think the cinematography will really sell this. Will they, you know, because there's been points where the two people sort of merge and they're on top of, like, sideways and on top of each other. It's really, really cool. And the stairway is a little bit like, okay, interesting, but it's really, really good. It's a hard one. It's definitely one of these two. I wouldn't say it's Defo, because I think a lot of people are comparing this to another one that's coming up later on. And simply based on that fact, it depends on the night, and I think it depends on a future country down here doing well, or a couple of future countries not, you know, doing well or not doing well. It's a hard one, this one. It's a really hard one. This is definitely depends on the night, I think it's in his hands. It's in his hands. If he performs perfectly and the choreography is great and the cinematography is fantastic, I don't think he can't go through. I think it's in his hands. Whereas, you know, Israel, for example, even if he performs perfectly, it might not be enough. So I'm going to put it in depends on the night. And I'm going to say that if he does mess up the performance, it might be happy days. So we'll see. We will see. All right. Well, I should also say this is my prediction side of things, and it is a little bit influenced by my personal opinion, but this is just straight up a prediction. Okay. Next up is Georgia. Georgia again. I think Georgia was the first artist to be announced as Circus Mircos, and it was really confusing because actually it shows a guy, but then it's actually a band of four, and they did a really courageous move as well, which I quite enjoyed, is they didn't show their music video until much later on, because of the war. Basically, it's a really colourful video, and I think as they were going to announce it, the war in Ukraine had started. So they didn't announce the video, and then they did it later on, and I think we were all quite attuned to the sound by then. Now, the music itself is super unorthodox, really unorthodox. It's just quite weird again. But I think it's a good weird, as in like it's colourful. It's got a lot of imagery. The story is supposed to be that they're a group of clowns that got rejected, and so they moved to music. And this is just what music sounds like when you're a rejected clown. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the story that they're giving. It's not predicted very highly. I personally really enjoy it, as in this is one of my top 20 again. It would be a surprise. It would be a really good surprise. I really want them to, but it would be a surprise if they went through. By the sounds of it, they sound really great. I think Georgia over the last few years have had some great vocalists, and I think no exception for this year. The staging is quite colourful. It's quite psychedelic, and I think if they really lean into that, and they just need to hit a really nice balance. I think the identity of the song needs to be on the song itself, and not the staging. As in, not you shouldn't remember it because the staging was good, but because it's a musically or sonically fantastic piece. I personally love this. I would put it through straight away, but it would be a surprise, and a good surprise if it went through. My personal opinion. Okay. Next up is Malta. Malta. Our brothers, sisters, whatever you want to call them, over the Mediterranean. We have good connections to Malta, the British people, if you didn't know, and it's a great holiday destination. I've been there, and it's been fantastic. But that's beside the point. Emma Muscat. Oh, I should also say, for Georgia, it's Circus Mircus, with the song "Lock Me In," and I think the words are really, really quite cool. I think they're easily memorable. Right, sorry, Malta. Malta is represented by Emma Muscat, and the song is called "I Am What I Am." Now, she sung a different song when she won X Factor, which is normally so the X Factor Malta. When you win X Factor Malta, normally you put that song through as well. But she decided to change up the song, and now I'm trying to remember what the other song sounded like. It was like a mother and daughter sort of thing of like, "Mum, I'll do you proud," and I didn't really like it. I thought the story with the message was good, but it wasn't enough for me. Then she changed it to "I Am What I Am." Yeah, it's a very happy song. Very happy. It's "I Am What I Am," like, again, one of these like Israel sort of things, like empowerment, but also for a lot of people it's like accepting who what I decide to do, what I decide to do with myself. It's a very happy song. She's dressed all in gold, and the staging, from what I've seen, looks very sparkly and lovely. She can sing. I think she was a little bit on the shaky side when I first saw it, but now I've seen some other clips where she's a bit more solid. But I'm going to go off the fact that she is a little bit shaky. Either way, this will be a surprise as well. I just think it's a bit too happy bland for me. I can see a lot of people enjoying it. I can see it singing out to a lot of people, like, aligning with a lot of people's thoughts and ideas. I notice I'm putting all the happy ones. It would be surprising. All the sad ones are going up to here, but trust me, it will change in a second. But yeah, I think it just would be a surprise, just generally. Not much more to say about it. The less said, the better, really. I think, in my personal opinion, this middle section is a real lull for me personally. But anyway, moving on. San Marino. Last year they did Flow Rider, which was super awesome. We never seen anything in Eurovision before, getting like an American artist who's very, very well known to duet. I think they got like 19 points or something really stupidly small, which was a bit of a crime, to be honest, because the song was extremely good. Now, this year, they're represented by Achille Lauro, and the song is called Stripper. Now, I think the story goes something along the lines of that Achille Lauro was going to represent Italy and then got rejected and then moved on to San Marino and won it out of 100. And it's like a massive thing for him, obviously, to go and represent at Eurovision. I've heard the song, I've seen the staging, I think the song itself is quite cool. It's like a punk sort of rock song. He's singing on it, obviously, just the one man. Staging itself, from what I've seen so far, is quite atmospheric and quite cool for the song itself. My biggest problem, and this is going to sound really awful, but I need to give my opinion on this, is he's just weird. I guess I get it's a personality, and that's the thing. It's just his personality is. I'm gonna put it in I get the song is quite good. I get the song is quite enjoyable. Unfortunately for me, his dancing, his singing, just does not on any level like synergize with me. There's no part of me that's like, oh yeah, actually he's got something good. I really want him to win. It's just personally awful. Yeah, this is my only bad song from this year. One that I really kind of wish doesn't go through, just because I know it's going to knock out one of these guys. I wish him the best of luck. I wish him, a good performance. But yeah, his singing is just really off. It's very weird and eccentric, and I think, look, you can perform without really singing. I get that, but to be a really good performer, you need to sing properly. Man, I sound like an old person, but really, yeah, he's just groaning and moaning the most of the time, and he doesn't really sing. He just speaks. It's just like, I'm a stripper. And I'm gonna fall asleep. And it's a punk song. It's a rock punk song. I'm supposed to get, yeah, let's go. But no, it's just what? I'm kind of high, like you, like, yeah. The less said, the better. Honestly, the less said, the better. Okay, next up is Australia. Woo, Australia in Eurovision. I get it. I know. They're part of the EBU though, and I've explained this in my other video, so if you want to go check that one out, you're more than welcome. I say it in a point about why Australia and other non-European countries are in it, including Azerbaijan. Yeah, Australia. This is another. Well, I say another. This is the second of this. Is this the second? Yeah, this is the second of this list. That is a dramatic boy ballad. Yeah. First listen, I heard the national final performance was the first listen, and I thought the stage was really awesome. I thought he was quite fantastic with his singing. The mask comes off and it's super dramatic, and he broke down. And he started crying, and I couldn't tell if it was part of the performance because he recovered quite well. And if it was part of the performance, I'm really annoyed. But if it wasn't, then fair enough to him. Yeah, it's sorry, I should explain it. Sheldon Riley from Australia. The song is called Not the Same. And don't worry, you won't forget the name of the song because he says it like 20 times. I think he said it like 3 times a chorus or 4 times a chorus. So yeah, you're going to hear it a lot. But yeah, apparently he's from what I've seen from the rehearsals, is he's drawn back the emotion sort of thing, and he's just performed. And he's got a lovely white dress suit. He's on this massive staircase, and I think as far as the staging goes, he is this beaming white light on this completely black background. It's really impactful. It reminds me of Switzerland from last year. The song is a little bit on the repetitive side. I think if it's your first listen, you'll be like, wow, that's really impressive. If you've heard it a couple times before, you're like, oh my gosh, we know it's not the same. We're not the same. I'm trying to get the message. I think I need to really listen into the lyrics a bit more because I still don't quite get what not the same means. But yeah, it's a safe pick. It's a really safe pick. The odds have not been super favourable for this song. I think it's been slightly forgotten about. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I think it's a really, really good song. I think when people hear it, if he performs well, it's a pretty safe pick. It's super strong. Super strong. And I wish him the best of luck. I think he's going to do great. Okay, next up I have Italy on my list, but I think that's just because running order 9. And anyway, we're on the 9th act now. And Italy will be 9th in the final. But anyway, the 9th act is Cyprus. Cyprus. Recently come into a string of really good form. They've kind of not I wouldn't say forgotten about, but there's not many memorable songs I can remember. And then this one, and then Fuego came out, and just since then they've been hitting the mark every single time. So yeah, Cyprus. The song is Ella. which I believe is Cypriot for something, but I can't remember. People think it's the name of a person, but my mum and I believe it's just a Cypriot name or word, sorry. And the singer is called Andromache. Andromache is a female singer. She sings on stage, obviously. Duh. The music video is really cool. The song itself is lovely and fantastic. I think it's super, super calming and just very magical in a way. I love the pacing. I love the tones of it. It just seems very professional and just great. From what I've seen of the staging so far, they got a very interesting sort of wave-like piece of structure. There's like a seashell shape of the middle, and so it's definitely something to do with water and like form and just being generally quite smooth. So it's a very, you know, colorful, like smooth piece, should I say. She is performing in front of this like projector, which is making like shadows on behind her from what I've seen so far. And she's also with two other dancers. Now, from what I've seen, it looks quite awkward. It doesn't look like there's much of a direction, and I don't know if the shadows behind her are supposed to illustrate something, because if it is, I can't tell. I think they said something in the interviews that it didn't go the way they wanted to anyway, as in this is not the final version. From what I've seen, was not the final version, and if that's the case, then I'm really looking forward to this one. From what I've seen so far, it depends on the night. If they have this is easily, if maybe even defo, but this is easily going into safe pick if they've sorted the staging out. I think the song alone even can put it in safe pick because I really enjoy it. She sings quite well from what I've seen so far. But if the staging is not coherent enough, it will be a depends on the night for me. And I'll be super interested and intrigued in this one. I think a lot of Europe will be intrigued in this one because it's a bit more of an artsy piece. I think when you hear the song, it's like, it's a lovely, like, how should I say, like holiday sort of song. But then when you watch it, it's like, oh, actually, it's a bit of an art piece going on. And I think it's very, very Cypriot, very, very Greek Cypriot sort of style, North Mediterranean. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know. This might move to a safe pick once I've explained all the others, so we'll see. Okay. Right, next up is Ivory Coast. No, I'm just kidding. Next up is Ireland. Woo! Ireland. Ireland is represented by a girl called Brooke, and was it one of the first? It was one of the first ones to be announced. I think Ireland announced theirs in January. And the song is called "That's Rich," and it's to do with I'm guessing either a guy who's been with her or is trying to get with her. And she's calling his bluff and sort of saying, "That's rich that you actually like me. You're just going to move on to some other girl once you're done with me." And you know, I take better value of myself than what you ever would. And it's like, yeah, it's a very like female empowerment. Like, yeah, you go, girl. Keep your I don't know, maturity, I guess. I don't know. Looking after yourself first and not just falling into a boy's traps. And that's really good. Good message. Yeah. The song itself, really cool. Again, you're going to hear me say a lot of the same thing. The song is good. I don't think there's a bad song in here. It's just good. All of these are good. And Ireland just joins that list of just being good. Yeah. There's apparently a dance routine and it looks quite good. Ireland have struggled in the last few years, which can affect some people's voting patterns. I wouldn't mind if it went through. I really wouldn't mind. I don't have an affiliation, really. There should be a middle ground here of just, like, you know... I just don't know. We start off really strong, and suddenly it just starts... So, yeah. This would be a surprise, personally. Ireland have a bad track record at the moment, and I think it's been very similar to what they've sent in recent years. It's got a little bit more of a kick to it, and she can perform it really well. I would be super happy if it went through. Super happy. Obviously, sisters and brothers over the coast. For me, it's literally on the border of Northern Ireland. So yeah. It would be a surprise. I don't think there's anything they can add to it to make it a depends on the night. It's straight up a dance routine, and she's singing, and there's no attempt to be like clever with the staging as far as I've seen. It's just a straight up dance song, and I think compared to a couple of others, it's just going to struggle a little bit. But again, I'm going to be revising this as I go along, so this might go up. Okay, North Macedonia is next. The song is called Circles, and it's performed by Andrea. Right, North Macedonia. Let me think for a second. So when I first heard this, I said last place, straight up, and I didn't mean to be mean. Again, every song is good. I recognized it was a good song, but it seemed very samey through the whole way through. I think if you took a snippet of any 10 seconds of this song and you compared it to another 10 seconds, you would say that's just exactly the same. And I think that is just, it's hard for a song to be considered good when there's no exploration of that tone, of that setting. I think the story is quite good. I think what she's saying about like she wants a healthy conversation to talk about the situation and work it out properly instead of going round in circles all the time, get to a final conclusion. It feels like they're like hanging on to nothing at the moment. So I think that the lyrics are really, really good. I think she's a great songwriter, especially if she wrote it. But the song itself is extremely samey. And I've seen some of the stage. Actually, I'm trying to think of some of the staging. Let me quickly look it up because I don't want to be unfair to it. But I guess if I haven't remembered it, it's not exactly been super memorable. Okay, her costume's quite nice. She's got like a black suit with gloves. It's quite baggy. There's a bit of stuff going on behind her. I underestimated North Macedonia once before, and I don't want to do it again. But last time, I think I was really wrong. If there's something that blows me away with the staging, this could go up one. But at the moment, it's an yeah. Oh no. Did it reverse everything? I think it did. Did it reverse the order? It did slightly. I'm just going to quickly fix this while I talk. Yeah, it's just not, for me, it's just not enough. It's the same the whole way through. She needs to completely belt something out. Excuse me, or the song needs to change entirely for it to be considered anywhere near qualification for myself. So it's an at the moment. And it will struggle, I think. Cool. Estonia. Next up is a artist called Stefan, and he sings a song called Hope, which is a lovely title for a song. I remember Stefan back when he tried to qualify, and I do not remember which year it was, but he tried to qualify before from Esther de Lauder, and he did not, but his song was really memorable for me. What was it called? I do not remember, unfortunately. My mind does not go that far. I'm trying to think. It's like 2017. Anyway, he's been in it. He's tried to get into it once before, and he finally did. I think he tried Sweden as well. He tried Melody Festival and then couldn't get through. And finally, he's on the stage now on his third or fourth attempt. I don't know. His third attempt. He's finally on the stage, and it's a song called Hope. The song is like a country and western sort of vibe. He's there with his guitar, and you can hear like a sort of a whistle, harmonica, or whatever in the background. It's the set quite nice. It's clearly country and western. Like cowboys and Indians and that sort of thing, or cowboys and Native Americans, should I say. And yeah, it just good song, really good song. It reminds me of what's that? Is it Avicii? It's like, hey brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. That sort of vibe, and I think people could get behind it. Personally, I quite enjoy it. It's another okay for me, but seeing as it's followed North Macedonia, seeing as it's followed I don't know, Ireland's okay, but I'm gonna put it in depends on the night as well, only because I know some of these are coming up, and it's gonna ramp up all of a sudden. So yeah, we're still in a bit of a lull, but I can see it being a safe pick. Now this might get a few sympathy votes. Apparently, a lot of people in Ukraine have been singing this one. It's literally the lyrics are, we're going up against someone, and the only thing we have is hope. And for a lot of people, that means a lot. And I think if people listen to the lyrics, it'll be great. His singing is very, very talented. He's low, then he's high, then he's low, then he's dancing, then he's playing, then he's doing a lot of stuff, and the staging looks great. So it really does depend on the night. But yeah, when we get to a few of these, we'll realize why it's only in Depends on the Night, I think. It's a bit of a struggle putting it there now, but yeah, okay. Right, number 13 to perform is Romania. Romania is an artist called WRS, very interesting name. And the song is called La Mame. La Mame. I really want to say it in Welsh because 2 L's in a row, so I want to say Llamame, but it's not Llamame, it's Lamame. We are in Romania, we are not in Wales. Romania is a straight up, just good vibe dance song, and it's a weird take, but it reminds me of going to a holiday in Spain or Italy or Greece, I guess, of just, I don't know, it's just like a really nice summer vibe, and it's got a calmness, yeah, it's super powerful. It's such a weird song. It's not weird, but it's just a weird sort of vibe. I'm like, this is really nostalgic and nice. It's a safe pick, super safe pick. Romania might be forgotten about because it's Romania, which is a real shame because I think that this song is really, really great. I think a lot of people are behind it, and if he performs it well, and because there's a dance routine he does a lot of dancing with these other dancers, and if he can perform that well, I mean, he's just super talented as WRS, and I think it's just a super safe pick. If you compare it to any of these other ones, especially Cyprus in Ireland for the same similar style, this is just leagues above in terms of quality, and there's a really repeatable, yeah, it doesn't get boring chorus piece where it's like la me, come for me, my baby, something like that. I just said I remember it and I don't remember it. As soon as the song plays, I remember it. But yeah, it's just a great song. I think it's a safe pick. I really hope it goes through. It's a quite quality act. It's been all over the place for me, but now it's a safe pick. Cool. Poland. How many times do I have to say it? Poland. Was one of the first ones I heard, and the first ones announced. It's a man called Ochman, and he's singing the song River. When I first heard it, I was like, this is another Duncan Lawrence. You are stealing, it's Duncan Lawrence. But it suddenly turns around in like the first chorus, it's just bam. And then it's super dramatic and emotional. And I think it was top of my list for a long time. Really high up for a long time. Yeah, just an absolutely great song. I don't know what has Poland's record been so far. I'm just trying to think. In my head, I'm thinking they're not that well qualified for a lot of the time. I'm trying to remember last year. And I think the fact that I don't remember means they didn't, or they would kind of forget it. Either way, they didn't have very powerful songs, and they hadn't had a good song for a while. But a lot of people have gotten behind this. This is like top 7 or top 8 in the odds. I saw some of the special effects are really weird. Looks something like out of an Indian sort of Bollywood film. But or is it Nollywood? No, Nollywood's Nigeria. Looks something out of a Bollywood film. But there's like these female dancers who are, I don't know. It's kind of got a lot to do with water and obviously like storms and rain and that sort of thing. It's super dramatic. And I think he said in an interview, like, I wanted to go over the top as much as possible to be super dramatic. And I think it works well. And I believe if he sings it well, because I heard his voice can be a little bit pitchy. If he does sing it well, it's a super safe pick. Out of all the boy ballads, these two are by far, well, I don't know. See, these are 3 other boy ballads, right? And they're all in the same sort of zone. So really it could be any one of these or 2 or 3. I doubt all 3 of these would go through, right? That would be crazy. Who knows? Eurovision is a crazy world. But yeah, these 3 songs sound similar, but each give a little bit of a different vibe. But yeah, Poland, a safe pick. Super safe pick. Look what it is. Hello, my friend. What's your name again? Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Nice to see you, Vriska. You're telling me to shush. Great, thanks for that. Cheers, bro. Means a lot. Right. Next up is Montenegro. Now, Montenegro have the worst history in terms of Eurovision. They have qualified. Have they qualified? I'm not sure. They've just had a really torrid time. And so when I did hear that this was going to be coming out, before I didn't even know what the song was, I was like, okay, Breathe by Vladana. I wonder how good this would be. This was top for a long time. This is my absolute favorite for so long. Man, is this song good. You go watch that video and you understand the story behind it. Wow. It's super impressive. The song's called Breathe. It's about just generally about anyone who had COVID at the time, and it was like, you know, stay away from how emotional that was. And the visual video is really cool. I think it portrays this idea of like, how weird is it that we were all hugging each other and like sort of seeing each other every day, and then suddenly all on stop and we have to literally reject people and push people away just because of this thing that can kill us. And I think it's because she had a relative, I think it was a mum who died to COVID, and it's her like crying out, please let her breathe. And the staging isn't really staging, it's her costume is the staging, which I don't know if I'm ruining it by saying that, but her costume is very, very large. I would say this end is very large, and the effect that it gives off is supposed to be this breathing effect, and it looks really, really interesting and awesome. Okay, all right, I should slow down a little bit. The song itself is extremely good. Translating onto stage is a little bit more difficult. It doesn't hold that much of a gravitas, but I hope that big seller point is just going to be incredible. And I do see the staging being awesome. I think Montenegro have gone all hands down for this. Depends on no, it's not a safe pick. It's not a safe pick whatsoever. It depends on the night. Personal favorite of mine. I don't know. It would be a surprise. Am I being a bit too bottom heavy if I put in would be a surprise? I'm just trying to compare it to the no, it's quality. It's a quality act. It depends on the night. Depends on the night. If she and it does depend on her, I believe. If she performs fantastically well and the staging comes across as it's supposed to, this is going to be a super good song, and I'll be super happy to see it go through. But again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all emotional ballads, and there can be a bit of a saturation. Okay, cool. Right, now we're on to these 3. And how should I go about this? Should I just straight do it? I'm going to straight do it. This ending is just ridiculous. Okay? I don't know what the organizers were doing, right? I don't know what they were trying to do. But there's like, it starts off with Finland's really cool, and then Israel's kind of good, and you got Serbia, it's like, wow, powerhouse. And then you got good song, okay song, good song, okay song, good song, okay song. And then they just, the ending is just, what? Why they put them all at the end? Why they put all the good ones at the end? Man, what is going on? What is this? Like, they put Belgium, Sweden, Czech Republic right at the end. Okay, all right, you kind of know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to talk about these now. So, Belgium. Right, Belgium. So, Belgium is a Jeremy Makisi. He is a Belgian artist, and he is singing a song called Miss You. Now, what is the genre of this? It gives me so much The Weeknd vibes, yet, I don't know, the way it starts is it The Weeknd? I would say the closest thing I could say to it is for The Weeknd, right? Yeah, this is just fantastic. He is, what a singer. The song wins it. I don't know. I'm going to say the exact same thing for all 3 of these, but yeah, the song is super good. He dances really well, and he has such a stage presence. It's really cool. I think a lot of people are hoping this doesn't go through for some reason. I don't know why. I think probably for the ones that are more down here to go through, right? But this is super strong. I think the only Achilles heel in this is if... Okay, I'm going to move this down to a safe pick, just for balance. The only downfall that potentially come of this is if he doesn't sing well. It's super reliant on his voice. If he can't convey that singing, and he can't get the song across, then it's going to be really difficult. But there are a few standout points where I think just the beginning to the end part is completely different. Yeah, the beginning is a completely different genre. So like the 30 seconds, 2 minutes 30 seconds onwards. look, it's a safe pick. It's a super safe pick. Is there a chance it doesn't qualify? Potentially. Which is why I put it... I don't know. I'll leave it here for now because it's my personal list, right? Okay, next up is Sweden. Sweden is Cornelia Jacobs, and she is singing Hold Me Closer. Now, if our entry in the UK did not exist, this is my winner. By not that much, but it's my winner. My winner. What can I say about this one? This one is for everyone, right? This song is for every single person that exists. So a lot of these are speaking to a specific kind of person. This one is for everyone. Everyone has experienced what is going on in this song in some way or another. Cornelia Jacobs talks about Hold Me Closer. The lyrics sort of go, hold me closer before you leave, before the sunrise. I might be bleeding, but don't you mind, I'll be fine. It's to do with this idea of like, they love each other, but he or she or whoever's wanting to leave is not going through a great time, is having mental problems either, or like mental issues, or is just struggling as a whole, and they've not necessarily that they found someone else, just they are not ready. They are not ready for that relationship. And I personally know people like that, and I've been through situations like that, similar, not necessarily with people, but just me myself. I've gone through that feeling before of I'm not ready for this, and I'm not ready to let go. I'm not ready to hold on. What do I do? And so at the end, it's just like, hold me closer, try and give me as much energy as possible to make this decision. It's super hard. And yeah, the song itself is so beautifully and fantastically made, and she is a brilliant singer. I wouldn't... It gives me Coldplay vibes in the way that Chris Martin, if you take him aside and you listen to his singing, it's not necessarily good. All right, and I hope people don't mind me saying that. I love Coldplay, so you know, I'm talking about my own artist here. He doesn't sing well, but him with the song and his band is really good. Right? So she, to me, is not a fantastic singer. She's a good singer, but with her song, it's immense because it's super unique. No one can sound like her. People have told me she sounds like other people, and to be honest, I've just ignored them because I know that this is super unique. And yeah, it's my winner. I'm going to move it up this way. It's my winner of this semi-final, and comes on right near the end, and I just think it's just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. The staging's super iconic as well. I won't ruin it because you should definitely go watch it. Should I ruin it? Sweden love this idea of just block color, right? It's either like just pulsating red or pulsating green or pulsating blue, whatever. And they've stuck with this theme again. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. I hope I don't get too bored of the idea, because I've seen the video so many times. I'm like, yeah, as in the national final performance, I've been like kind of desensitized to it. But yeah, this is wow. I do not see a world where this doesn't go through. I should make a separate tier for Sweden. I think this is like 98% in the odds to go through. Like, there isn't a world this doesn't go through. And yeah, I would be shooketh, super shooketh, if this doesn't go through. Yeah, definitely qualify. And then last up is the Czech Republic. Czech Republic were one of the, I think was the first one I heard, right? It wasn't the first one announced, but the first one I heard. And the song is called Lights Off. It's by a band called We Are Domi. I think the main singer's called Domi, or something along those lines, and they call themselves We Are Domi. They're a three-piece band, one girl at the front and two guys at the back, and the song is called Lights Off, as I said before. This idea of struggling with stuff in the outside world, a lot of stuff's happened, changing a lot of things going on in my life, and there's just a point where you want to turn the lights off and you want to dance in your room and just want to go for it, have fun, even though all this stuff around you is a struggle. Just, yeah, enjoy yourself in private, obviously, like, you know, dancing and turning the lights off and going for it. And then there's kind of like where are you now? Like, I'm feeling good, you know, sort of vibe. Right. The music video is pretty cool, pretty awesome. It's like this idea of a dystopian future. Reminds me of 1984, which is what I've been reading recently. So super visual for me. It's like I think it's a world where they control the music you listen to, and then the band itself gets together and they sort of break all the headphones that the people are using to listen to music. It's a really cool idea. And so there is this theme of breaking the convention, of breaking down the barriers of music and being like, look, all music is super good, right? Or super cool. And so yeah, people just people fall in love with a song and fall in love with every song in Eurovision because it's just breaking down that barrier of like, all songs are cool. Yeah, I've put this in Death for qualifying. I think it is. I think the staging is pretty cool. They've got some like ancient sort of looking equipment. I say ancient, about some older looking equipment. I think the visuals are really interesting and unique. And this is the most stroby song of the entire competition. Like my eyes, the meme of just the eyes are burning, but it's good and it ends off the competition. It's super high pumping, and I can see why they ended with this one. I think ending with this one would just be depressing, but this one is just like, wow. And it's such a speedy, good end. Belgium, Sweden, Czech Republic is such an end to the final. So semi-final, should I say. And that is that. So this is my final list. Now comes the hard part of actually predicting and giving my view on what I believe the actual 10 and going through and the actual 8 not going through will be. So we're going to make this qualifying. And this one down here will be not qualifying. And we're going to move them in between these accordingly. So anything in the safe pick for me is qualifying, right? I don't see this. The reason why they're a safe pick is because I believe, they have a chance. So this is like a middle zone. And I'm going to move these up into depends on the night. They've actually overextended the border, which is kind of hilarious. Right. So we have 7 at the moment who are in qualifying. I'm actually going to zoom this out a lit. Can I zoom out enough to fit all? No, I can't. Okay, they are just that wide. They are wide boys. It is what it is. Okay, so qualifying from this list, I get a choice of 3 from this one. Wow. Okay, that is hard. That is hard. And I think, like last time, I'll be a bit more personal with my picks, just to convey that this is actually what I would love to go through, right? This is kind of a mix already of what is collectively agreed, as in these 7, I believe, are collectively agreed to go through, whereas these 3 I'm going to pick are my 3. Straight off the bat, Malta's down here. It's just not for me. Israel is also not for me. And now it becomes a struggle. Now it becomes a real struggle. And the thing is, we've got quite a lot of good songs, right? They're not great, they're not awful, they're just good. So it's just a hard decision now to pick the 3 that I'd love to go through. Finland for me is super temperamental. I don't know if the singer's going to sing on point. I don't know if the stage is going to come across super well, so it's super risky. But at the moment, I think it's my favorite out of these in terms of song. So it's going to be super hard to just say, like, yeah, going through because it's so temperamental. However, I'm going to go with the optimistic side of things and say that they're going to perform perfectly. And if that's the case, it's qualifying for me. And that is if they perform perfectly. Because if they don't, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to excuse it. Oh man, this is such a hard semi-final. This is torture. This is so torture. Because these are all just great in their own rights. I think all the genres are so different from each other, it's hard to compare them as well. Man. Just because I know what the staging is like. Oh, but no. Bro, this is so hard. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make myself live? Why do I torture myself in front of a live audience? It's just not a good idea. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is so hard. I don't see a way that any of these can be said like, nah, definitely not qualifying or definitely qualifying. While I think the song is great, and I think I will sing along to this, and I think it's fantastic. Ireland is not qualifying just because of the track record, just because of it's never been a personal favorite of mine. It's just been good. To be honest, that's yeah where it stays at the moment. So I got rid of one. Two of these. This semi-finals will be so hard. You need to watch this one because the drama for the final 10 will be immense. It'll be so hard. Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna be doing a lot of thinking. uh, okay. I love Georgia. Georgia is a personal favorite of mine. Bro. I don't know whether to go with my head or my heart. And even then, it's not super easy. Georgia's going to go here for a second. Bit weird, I know. But Georgia's going to stay here for a second. I am predicting it to go down. But I love it, right? And I love this song so much. And I'm super behind it. But it's just, yeah, it's hard to excuse it against these four. I'm going to go off the fact that the staging at the moment is just not super. Oh, bro, but it's a really good idea. That's the thing. And if it does work, I'm going to look super dumb. It does not do. If you're watching this live, I apologize because I'll actually be here for a long time. If I'm not doing anything, I'm giving the impression, or at least I'm trying to convey that this is super tight and super hard, right? This is really, man, it's just impossible. It's just impossible to choose between. Even now, I'm debating Finland. I'm debating Romania. I'm even debating Australia. And I thought these were solid, right? I thought these two were solid, but now I'm just like, it can't be. This top four, right, is solid. I don't see a world where any of these four don't go through. But then these four just have a weird chance of like not. Hmm. I don't particularly love Estonia's song, but I know a lot of people that do. And I personally love Montenegro's song, but I know a lot of people who just don't get it. But then Azerbaijan, he's such a fantastic singer. I'm literally gonna have to sort by my score, I believe, and then just say what I put as my scoring, and you can check out my scoring in the link below on the link below. But yeah, this is man. I'm missing one. Why am I missing one? I've got Estonia quite high up, and I've got Azerbaijan literally just behind it. And next up was I got Poland quite low down actually. Okay, I'm gonna say it now. Save point. This is my final prediction. I mean, this is my final prediction. This is my final prediction. But if I'm just purely going on what I love and enjoy and like really want to get behind, because I loved it from the start, and I think the song's great. Oh, but she could just bomb it. Go back. All right, I'm nearing an hour now. I need to decide in the next like 30 seconds. Okay. Does rearranging them help? I'm gonna go off the basis that Cyprus's staging just doesn't work, and it's too boring and bland, and that's awful for me to say because I think it's a great song, but I think it's just too boring and bland. And in a sea of super dramatic and super high impact songs, this might drop out. Montenegro, will people get the message? I don't know. Azerbaijan will. Oh, Azerbaijan has to go through. Azerbaijan's qualifying. Everyone, Azerbaijan's qualifying. It's Azerbaijan. What am I doing? Political voting. Azerbaijan is just solid with who else is in here? There's actually not many countries that would vote this way. Actually, they might struggle with the political voting side of things, but Azerbaijan is generally like enjoyed. Estonia, and North Montenegro. North Montenegro. No, why do I keep saying that? Montenegro will get votes from Macedonia. We'll get votes from Israel. Oh, Israel might vote for Azerbaijan. I don't know. I've got one more left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got one more left from these two, and I've gone over my minute. Just from what I've seen impact wise, in terms of what it's done so far for other people, I'm going to say this, right? Now I'm putting this and this in here, and you can take a screenshot of this. So delete row. This is quite a prediction based, like here. This is prediction based. This is also prediction based, but this is like I cannot. It could go any way. I'm gonna have to put them down here for now, but I love these two. I love these two songs. So yeah, this isn't my personal list necessarily. This is just where we're at. That was stressful and hard, and even then, I don't think I truly agree with this. But look, the only way you're going to find out if they do well or not is by actually watching it. So if you do have the time, it's 8 p.m. tonight on BBC Three, and it will also be on YouTube if you don't want the commentary, which can be great because sometimes they talk over a lot of the acts, and then sometimes they like leave it alone. So yeah, but this is my personal list. I think Ireland below is almost a guarantee. I think Cyprus, Montenegro, and Georgia have this random, maybe not Georgia, but have this random. They used to have a random chance of getting up into there, and I think any of these three could drop down really realistically, and we could have some shocks. So I also think San Marino is really enjoyed by a lot of people, and just has that wow factor to really push people through. Unfortunately, the odds tend to be in favor of those high impact songs and not in the favor of the low impact songs. So, which isn't necessarily correct because obviously low impact songs can be super emotional. Like Azerbaijan, but Azerbaijan has these all have big moments, right? Romania's the only one I'm like, this doesn't have a big moment, but it's just great all the way through. But yeah, this is it. I will I'll obviously be doing a review after the semi-final. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe so you can check out all the rest of the videos I put out. The next one to come up will be a semi-final 2 review, which will include my reviews on all of the qualifiers that go through, including the UK, including Spain, Germany, and the UK. And by the looks of things, none of this does even matters anyway, because the UK is already through to the finals and looks like the strongest contender to bring down the supposed winner, Ukraine. So we'll see what happens. And I mean that in a nice way. I don't mean like take down Ukraine. I mean to potentially win the competition regardless of the current way that it looks like people are going. But yeah, enjoy the evening. It'll go on, tonight, and then tomorrow I will give my prediction as soon as possible, because I'll need to be going and doing a bit of a travel tomorrow, so it might be quite early when I do my review. I might even do it after the semi-final directly, just to get my prediction in there. And then you will find Saturday, sometime in the day, I will give my prediction of the final, and that will be the big one, where I review all 25. I'll look less into the songs themselves, but more into where I think they will go. And yeah, this is super awesome. Love Eurovision. Love this Eurovision week. And if you're not interested in Eurovision at all, now's the time to do it. Now's the time. 8 p.m. tonight. There's going to be some real stunners and some real just awesome moments. And I can't wait for you to watch them at home. But without further ado, what's the opposite of without further ado? In conclusion, what is this, a paper? At the end of the day, hope you enjoyed. If you're catching this right at the end, make sure you watch the replay. It will go out about 30 minutes after this finishes. And yeah, see you for the review of semi-final 2. Enjoy. See you later.